Back with another video. This is another booky sort of video. Recently, it's so easy, I think. I'm one of those people sometimes, like, I'm getting all these books and I'm just like, and my to be read list just keeps growing and growing, and I already have books. I'm just like, maybe I should read those before I buy more. So recently, I think this year, I've been trying to utilise my local libraries a lot more. So wherever, like, I find a book, I try and, like, the books that I want to read, I try and request it at the library quite early so that I can still get some of the newer books and things like that to read, so that I'm not continually thinking that I need to buy books so that I can read what I want to read, if that makes sense. So I picked up a few books from the library just yesterday, actually. One of them is this one. It's called I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, which the title is absolutely excellent because it grabs your attention. You're just like, what? How can you be glad? So even with that, it's an amazing title. And Jeanette McCurdy, I know of her from iCarly. My brothers used to watch that show, actually, and they used to love that. Even one of my brothers, like, if it was still on, he would watch it, and he's like an adult now. He just, like, finds it so funny and just, like, it's quite nostalgic for him, so he loves to watch it. And Jeanette McCurdy is one of the stars of that show, basically. And this book is an autobiography of, or like what you could say a memoir of, basically her childhood and growing up with her mother, who, from what I've heard about reading quickly prior to picking up this book, who was quite abusive. So it'll be an interesting read. I've already started reading. I'm up to about page 25, and I'm just like, ooh, I can already see that her mother's quite problematic, and I'm just trying to find out what else happens in the book as well. So this one's a really exciting one for me because I haven't read non-fiction in a while. I think it's been mainly like fiction. So it'll be and non-fiction's really like a genre that I've always liked anyway. I've always liked to read like autobiographies and memoirs as well, but recently I think it's just been fiction, so it's nice to dip into a new genre. So that's this one. So I've already started reading this one. This one is called Marilynne Robinson. It's by Marilynne Robinson, should I say, and it's called Jack. It's part of a series called Gilead, and I was recommended it by my mentor as one, like, a really good read. And so I think she mentioned to me a while ago, and I've really struggled to get hold of it, actually, for some reason. I've requested it at different, like, libraries and things like that, and there's been issues with me actually getting hold of it. So this would be interesting to read. I think at the heart of this story, I think there's like an interracial, like, love story or something like that. So there's a bit of like conflict within like the relationship in that way. I'm just interested to find out, like, what else happens in the book as well. And this one is called The Vanishing Half by Britt Burnett. This one, actually, I've meant to read like millions of years ago, and it's never materialized somehow. I remember when it first came out, like on the train, it was everywhere, and then I think I must have meant to order a copy and just never ordered a copy for some reason. But I've heard like amazing things about this book. As you can see, it was shortlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction, so you can see that it's quite a phenomenal book. And yeah, so this one is a really exciting one. So as soon as I finished this book, I'll probably jump onto this one, and then it'll be Jack. So I'll let you know how these go, basically, once I finish them. And this is just a little reminder for you guys as well. If you can, do your best to keep in touch with your local library, find out what's going on there, borrow books if you can, because we're growing into like a world where like literally everything is digital, and places like the libraries, I remember one of my smaller local libraries was about to potentially close, and there was a huge petition, this was years ago, from a lot of like elderly people who still use the libraries, and a lot of the mums that use the libraries for different sort of sessions for their children, or like reading summers and things like that, and it's still there. So invest in your library in that way. It's a really good resource in the fact that we don't have to pay to borrow books, which is amazing. So you can still like read books and it doesn't cost you any money, which is great. An amazing place to be, especially in this world that we live in. If you can get things for free legitimately, utilize it. And it's a place where you can like use like computers and things like that. I know like a lot of people nowadays have computers at home, but it's one of those places that I don't like go to like as much as I do other things, other hobbies, if you know what I mean, because sometimes like libraries have specific opening times, and sometimes it clashes with like my work times and things like that. But definitely I've been trying to utilise it a lot more this year. I've been conscious of it, because I've said to myself, no, you're not buying any more books, get it from the library. And then, because otherwise you can end up spending like a fortune on books. And also by you actually getting the books out from the library, it's not like you're not buying the books, so it affects the authors in a way as well. The fact that people are also loaning their books from the library as well. I'm not quite sure, I don't really understand it, but I've heard that there is an impact on the authors as well, that there is like interest in their books, so that helps with their building their career and continuing to build their careers as well. So it's also good for authors to borrow their books from the library as well as buying them, of course. So yeah, different sort of video today, but if one of your New Year's resolutions is to read more, maybe step into your local library and borrow some books. Take care.